Have you ever met someone who could leave without looking back? No tears, no explanations, just quiet eyes and steady breathing, as if they already knew how the story would end. People often call them cold, distant, or heartless. But what if their calmness is not emptiness, but a wound that learned how to stay still? People who detach easily were not born this way. They became this way. Once upon a time, they cared too deeply, trusted too quickly, and held on too tightly. Until life taught them that holding on to the wrong things can hurt more than letting go. It starts subtly. Maybe a friend who suddenly stops calling, a relationship that fades without warning, or promises that vanish into silence. They realize that attachment often leads to disappointment, and the only way to survive is to feel less, expect less, and want less. So they teach themselves to walk away early, to smile when they are breaking inside, to keep their distance before they get replaced. They convince themselves that peace means not caring, but deep down, they still feel everything. They feel it when someone's tone changes, when someone they love becomes distant, when a message goes unanswered. They just do not show it anymore. Because showing emotions once cost them too much. They learned that vulnerability is not always rewarded. Sometimes it is punished. So now, they protect their peace like a fragile glass shield. They do not want to hurt others. They just want to stop hurting themselves. People call them mysterious, but the truth is, they are just tired. Tired of explaining their feelings to people who never listened. Tired of being the one who cares more. Tired of fighting battles that no one else noticed. And when they finally detach, it is not a sudden decision. It is the result of 1,000 quiet disappointments. They notice every moment you stop trying. They notice when your words sound less sincere. They notice when your presence begins to fade. And one day, they simply decide to stop waiting. But here is the thing. Detachment is not the absence of love. It is the realization that love cannot exist without peace. They do not leave because they stopped caring. They leave because they finally started caring about themselves. It is a quiet kind of strength. The kind that does not scream or seek revenge. The kind that learns how to love in silence and let go without hatred. And when they walk away, they carry no bitterness, only lessons. You will not see them posting about the pain. You will not hear them trying to prove their side, because they know peace is more valuable than validation. But even the strongest hearts have soft corners. Late at night, when the world grows quiet, they feel everything they once buried. The laughter, the warmth, the memories. They replay it all in their mind, not to suffer, but to understand. And that understanding is what sets them free. Because detachment is not about avoiding emotions. It is about managing them with wisdom. They no longer give energy to what drains them. They no longer chase people who make them feel unseen. They have learned that silence can sometimes speak louder than explanations. If you have ever been this person, the one who walks away quietly, who smiles through loss, who keeps peace even when misunderstood, you are not cold. You are healing. You are simply refusing to relive the same heartbreak disguised in new faces. But here is the paradox. The more detached you become, the more people want to know what goes on inside you. They are drawn to your calmness, your mystery, your strength. Because in a world full of noise, your silence feels like truth. Yet deep down, you crave someone who sees beyond the surface. Someone who says, "You can stay. I am not going anywhere." Someone who understands that your distance is not rejection. It is protection. And one day, that kind of person arrives. Not with fireworks, but with stillness. They do not demand explanations or rush your emotions. They sit beside you in silence, and slowly you realize you do not need to detach here. For the first time, you feel safe enough to stay. That is when detachment transforms into emotional mastery. You stop walking away to protect yourself and start choosing peace because you value it. You stop reacting to every loss and start observing it. You stop fearing endings and start trusting beginnings. And that is the hidden beauty of detached souls. They have suffered deeply, but they have also evolved beautifully. They have faced abandonment, rejection, and heartbreak, yet they stand, unshaken, wiser, and free. Detachment at its core is not the act of leaving. It is the art of staying centered when everything else falls apart. It is knowing when to fight for something and when to release it with grace. It is saying, I love you, but I love my peace more. So the next time you meet someone who seems distant, do not assume they are heartless. They are probably someone who once gave too much and lost themselves in the process. Now, they are simply learning to choose themselves. And that takes courage. Because real detachment is not about running from pain. It is about facing it, feeling it, and then deciding it will not control you anymore. It is about breathing through loss and realizing that letting go is not weakness. It is wisdom. And when you reach that point, you no longer chase closure. You no longer need explanations. You simply wish people well and continue walking, light, peaceful, and free. Because the most powerful kind of strength is quiet. It does not seek to be understood. It simply exists, calm, aware, untouchable. And that is the psychology of people who detach easily. Not emotionless, not cold, just people who finally understood that sometimes to heal, you must learn how to hold on and when to let go. In the next video, we will explore the psychology of why we push away the people we love, how fear of pain and loss can turn closeness into distance before we even realize it. If you have ever wondered why you pull away from those who care the most, you will want to watch that one.